Ski! Are we live?
We are live.
Right now?
Yep, we're live. Clapped Out Podcast, episode number 2.
Número dos!
Dude, our level of consistency is unparalleled.
Just the cup. This I do need to. Thank you.
What is this? This is a half gallon. Did you go to Hardee's or Carl's Jr.? What the hell?
It's Firehouse Subs. Home to. I don't have any. I wish I knew their specials. I'd throw them out there.
Yeah, thin red line. Congratulations. Way to go.
Whoo! What's a stout drink?
Man. Hey, never mind. I was going to say happy Father's Day to you, but.
Yes, I do not do this. I have no kids.
No kids.
I will one day have many of the little ones. They run around.
Was the things in the troublemakings?
With the things in the... Catherine, what's this? What is this for?
Feel like you're going to wreck the place.
Well, let's get today's started. Let's get a little wild. Come on. What do we got?
So you look like you're about to eat crab legs at Red Lobster. All right. Clapped Out Podcast, episode number 2, Father's Day edition.
Happy Father's Day, Rye.
I am just double checking to make sure we are live on Facebook here and everything is going through. Thank you. Yes, it is Father's Day because I am a father of 3 beautiful children. And it was a pretty epic day. I got to do whatever the hell I wanted for the entire day.
Literally nobody asked.
Yeah.
No one. There's nobody that asked. So
I don't care. That's what we're here to do. Nobody asked us to make a podcast, but we did it anyway.
The people have spoken.
They haven't really spoken.
I don't see us live on the internet here. Are we live?
No, I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah,
maybe
Jasmine just yelled, no! So we're not live.
Maybe we went
You're not good at your job of producer.
Did we go too soon? Oh, we did go too soon. Oh, here we go.
Story of your life. Went to the gym these last few days. Just been getting back in fighting shape. It's no big deal. Sure wondering why I look so muscular. It's because I went to the gym twice.
Why is this not live?
I don't know, dude. I wish.
Oh, found it. It was hiding. It was hiding.
God, dude, you're right. It must sound terrible when I yell into the mic.
It's so hot in this garage.
Can you see this? You can't. Can you see that logo?
Wait.
This is what we call a plug. It's a plug right there.
Setting up your meeting for Facebook. Okay.
It says live on Facebook. Now we're live on Facebook.
Now we're live? Oh, we are. It does say live. Are we though?
Yeah, let's do that. You messed up the intro on the first one, so I'll do this one.
Is it possible for your ears to sweat? Because my ears are sweating profusely. But yes, we're live.
Yes, I know this. It said live for
F
quite
and
some
A.
time.
I done it. I did a thing.
You're such a jackass.
Yeah, dude.
All right, everybody. This is the second episode of the Clapped Out Live situation. We still have to come up with a tricky name for this weekly rendition. I don't know what we need to call it. But we are live. I'm waiting for the comment section on Facebook to come up too. I don't know if you have it in front of you. It's finally up. Cool. So you guys are live, Clapped Out, episode 2. Today we're going to turn that off, Rye. I can hear me in the background, Rye.
That's not me.
I could hear it. It wasn't me.
It's totally you.
Your captain's hat is deceiving. You're not a fixture of authority. So, episode 2, we are live. Today's episode is brought to you by Fabit Fabrications. That is Matthew. I don't want to pronounce your last name. It's Grunwald. I can't. I'm going to mess it up. Big Matty. El Matarino. And we're going to start off the show with talking about that specifically, and then we are going to pass it over to Rye because Rye, he actually did homework. Thanks, bud.
I did. That's what I do.
He did homework, dude. I didn't expect him to do homework, and old Rybert went home and he did some work.
I do stuff.
We're actually prepared this week, which is awesome. So, Rye, if you could, I don't have the ability to pull up the website for fabitfab.com.
Yes.
That's FABBOT. So go ahead and pull that out. We're gonna jump in this week. The first topic of discussion is going to be our product of the week. And the product of the week this week is the Fabit AR5 to LS/small block Chevy, the bell housing kit, and the adapter plate that he produces and sells. So we're going to start off there, and then we're going to jump back to a little bit of, I guess, politics, but not the type that have been blasted in the websites and the Facebooks and the medias. A little bit different of politics. Right? What do you think about, give them a brief synopsis.
Can we double back? Are you sure on that website?
Yeah, FABBOT,
Oh, Fabot.
Yes.
That B, the B is awfully close to the G on there. So
it is, yes. God, I apologize to
I
everybody.
got to address the elephant in the room. Come on, I'm not the only one.
I knew. I felt that it was going to come out at some point. But go ahead. That's a 30-day ban. Thanks a lot, Rye.
We didn't say the word, and we're
next topic. Pull the website up.
All right, here we go. I'm trying to bear with us, guys, because we're very new to this, or at least I am. Logan's somewhat of an expert here. And switch cameras.
Okay, so you can play in the background, or I can talk real talks. So,
boom! Here we go.
Right, so I'm gonna dial this back a few weeks, and a few weeks ago, I was look at this YouTubers. Look at this. You can guess what we're gonna talk about with his bookmarks up there. Man, you're such an amateur, right?
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Cool. Yeah, cool. So. Let's dial it back a few weeks. A few weeks ago, or actually about a couple months ago at this point, I started a notchback build, an LS T56 build for a street car. And I purchased a T56 from a person on the internet. And this person I had purchased from a transmission from him before. And I paid for the transmission. And then a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by, 4 weeks go by. And I keep getting a bunch of basically BS. Like, oh, it shipped this day. It shipped this day. Couldn't give me a tracking number. It turned into this whole ordeal. I absolutely hate blasting people online because it just turns into a big just shit fest back and forth. So I finally just posted up and I said, hey, man, I don't care about the transmission anymore. I just want my money back. I got my money back from this guy. And in the meantime, I got set up with Matthew, the owner-proprietor of Fabit Fabrications. I hope I'm saying that right, if it's Fabbot or Fabit. But either way.
Probably emphasis on the bot.
Yeah, because it's all caps Fab and then bot, so I'm sure it's Fab bot, whatever. Anyway, it's actually not whatever. It's pretty dope. So a good friend of mine named Will runs a page called Stance East, and Will hits me up. He's like, hey, man, why don't you just run this AR5 transmission? And I had no clue what the hell an AR5 transmission was before this. And they come in like the Chevy Colorados and the Canyons, and they come in the Slingshots, and they come in the Solstices. That are with a side of so he turns me on to this guy, and I look at his product line. I'm like, it's all super cool looking stuff. I don't know anything about machining.
Hang on. Turned on, guys. Continue.
You got anything else? Do you have anything else to interject with before we look at like all 6 of our viewers today?
No.
Such a dumbass.
Keep it going.
You're such an idiot. So, actually, back out of the website for a second, Robert, because this is a whole. We got to take them on a journey. So anyway, I start talking to Matthew about my combination via Will. So shout out to Will from Stance East for setting this up. And Matt was really helpful with the whole situation. And I said, look, I don't have T56 money at this point. Like, I don't want to spend. It's insane to me. Have you looked at what T56s are selling for, Rye?
It's insane. Like. You're paying like $2,000 for like an LT1.
Yeah, like,
completely useless.
Like these crackhead prices. Like there's people that are like, all right, came out of a 260,000 mile car, grinds first, second, third, fourth, fifth, doesn't have sixth or reverse, 2,600 shipped.
Good luck.
What? So I was sour on the idea of doing a T56, didn't want to do an auto, and then this AR5 idea got dropped in my lap. So I hit up Matt. Actually, we get put in a group chat and we start talking back and forth, and I end up picking up his complete adapter setup. So you can pull the site back up. If you go over to the homepage, Rye, you'll see the Fabbot Next Gen AR5 to LS transmission adapter. It's the billet plate. If you can pull that picture up, pull that up.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how I did
Just
it.
go ahead and pull that up. If you could just pull that up.
Just like that. What about that
Pull it
whole
up.
middle ground where I forgot what I was doing?
It's okay. You probably saw like a shiny ball bouncing around the room, and you just lost your train of thought.
Squirrel, shiny balls. Someone say balls?
Shiny squirrel balls.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you look at that's the bell housing. That's not the plate, but go to the home page. So this kit, what you can do is you can buy an AR5 transmission, like car-part.com. They used like whatever, every salvage yard rocks the stuff. You can buy one of these transmissions. I paid $200 for my transmission, which is insane compared to a T56. I paid $200 for this transmission. And then if you look at, there you go, click on that. So this adapter plate, and then that's the clutch slave, the little circle is the clutch slave piece. All you need is that and a 4L60 bell housing. There's a couple other small nuances and differences with the AR5s that came in different chassis.
Let's double back to the fact that people basically give away 4L60 bell housing. So
you can get up on ABN.
You all right there?
My mind is going and my mouth can't do my mind.
You gonna get that one out there? Okay.
My mind doesn't do my mouth.
So people who talk about like $420 may seem steep for an adapter, but when you're talking about an AR5 transmission, which is
$200 for real,
a couple $100, a $420 billet precisely machined adapter, and then a bell housing, which is essentially a throwaway because you know how much we love 4L60E memes because they are
the truth, yeah.
Garbage.
Oh man. I think you're doing a swap on a 4L60 at your house right now, aren't you?
I am. I have one sitting outside, and he's rebuilding, and he's like, "Hey, what should I do this 4L60 to make it live?" And I said, "Put an 80 behind it.
Put an 80.
Not do this." But, your money, bud.
That is. So this is the direction I went, and you can look at the website. It's really fluid. You can add all the parts of the kit that you want. If you want to change it up, add a bell housing. I purchased the bell housing, the plate, everything I needed. The pricing alone was enough for me to say, yeah, let's rock and roll on that. So, and you can see right there, you can decide which transmission you got it out of, or where your transmission donor came out of. So if you add it all up, I'll have less than $1,000 total into everything. So the transmission, the bell housing, the adapter plate, the slave cylinder, all of that stuff. Monster clutches, Steve Addison, shout out to Monster Clutches too, because I still had the triple disc. So Monster and I should say they stepped up huge for my RX-7, and they were like, "Hey man, we want you to go race on our clutch." And I'm like, "Steve, you're really attractive as a man." And he's like, "I appreciate that." He sends me a clutch, and I went to the dyno and then exploded my engine, and I was like, "Hey Steve, you're still attractive, but I'm probably going to put an automatic in my car." XO, and he was super chill about it, which is awesome. But anyway, Monster Clutches is on board too, still the notchback, which is awesome. Anyway, less than $1,000 into a trans where my other option was spend $1 million on a T56 Magnum, like everything you could do to it trans off the shelf, or a crackhead T56 that somebody wanted 25.
It's so hard to build a powerful car with 3 pedals in this day and age and be able to do it on a budget. Like you can't beat it. So shout out to Fab Ott. Great job, guys.
Yes, big thank you to those guys. They are dope. Appreciate it.
Jason Swaney wants to know, what's the difference between an AR5 and a T56? T56 obviously is a 6-speed. 5th and 6th are overdrive. AR5 is a 5-speed transmission commonly found in the Colorados and the canyons. You can also find them in like the Pontiac Solstice. I barely got that one out. The Saturn, what did you say, Sky?
The Saturn Sky and the Pontiac Solstice.
And then Slingshot is the Polaris, right?
Yeah, the Polaris Slingshot. They have the Echo.
Who cares?
Dude, I'll tell you right now, there is a huge niche behind those little 4-cylinders. Like there's guys.
In the off-road world, I've seen them out in Cali for sure. Like the 2.2, the Eco. Now you got me doing it.
Ecotech,
whatever it is, I don't care. That's the 4-cylinder GM, but
yeah. So
you're most commonly going to find them in a Colorado or canyon. If you can find those things in a pick apart in a junkyard, and you can snatch the transmission out. So if you ever go to LKQ or wherever and you see a Colorado or a Canyon, look, I feel like, you remember what happened with LSA blowers when they went the shit and they were like $100 and people were just buying them for scrap?
Yep.
Mark my words, that's what's going to happen when people start catching on to this stuff with the AR5 transmission. That's what's going to happen to this thing, because that transmission can hold a somewhat decent amount of power from what I hear. So
yeah, so the only thing he told me was just don't try to power shift the 2.3 or the 3.4. I can't remember. I'm not going to pay attention. I'll probably break it on purpose. Yeah. Like I'm already going to try to break the engine with as much nitrous as I can. Oh, shout out Nitrous Express.
Right. 2, 3, 3, 4. Yeah, right. Yeah. Totally.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Totally heard that.
The mannerisms with your hands will go very well in the audio-only version of this podcast. Just for our listeners at home, he was pretending like he wasn't paying attention just now.
Yes.
But, yeah, so, Caleb Wisher. I knew Caleb was going to jump in here. So, Caleb Wisher, I worked with Caleb at Brian Tooley Racing, and Caleb has a Colorado. It was a twin-turbo LS build. Originally, it was LSA, then twins, and then he sold everything, including the Power Glide, to me. And he put that EcoTech 2.4 liter in it with an AR5, and that's what he's building right now. That's what I was going to mention. So he's got like a single turbo EcoTech.
Building.
Again, he's doing air quotes, people. You can't see that, but on video he just did air quotes.
You're basically building a rear-wheel drive Cobalt.
Caleb, I feel like that's a call-out. So you got a C10 that you're working on, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm not going to put a 4-cylinder anything in it.
No. I'm just saying. I think you should.
Why's your voice? Wait. Why does your voice get so high?
Well, it's just how I talk when I'm defending a good friend like Caleb Wisher.
No. What you talking about?
Yes, everyone's Joe Meek. I'm going to go hoard these transmissions before the word gets out. Yes, they're dirt cheap. There was like 6 or 7 of them within 30 miles of me for $250 at most. So. Don't sleep on the AR5, and again, shout out to FabBot for hooking that up. And again, we're also going to try to explode the engine with the help of Nitrous Express and NX Gonzo Video, which we are big fans and friends of. Aaron, what's up, dude?
What up, homie?
Damn, Caleb Wisher hit you. Could be worse. Could be a Mustang, is what he said. Ooh, accurate statement. Ooh. It's okay. We'll pause for the death. Oh man, truck on truck death match. I love that. David Varner, drinking team is checked in. David Varner is here, everybody. Woo! We got Import Drag Solutions in the chat. What is up, David? Good to see you, brother. Even the eBay price, shipping included for an AR5 is only $380.
Get the hell out of here. Are you serious?
I swear to God, dude. I'm not kidding. When I bought it, I was blown away at how cheap those transmissions are. You could buy 4 of them and blow them up repeatedly at the track.
I searched high and low. When I had that 01 Mustang GT with I gave the transmission to my neighbor, but I searched high and low for one. I was like, here, you can have this trans. Just buy me one of these AR5s. Never could find one.
Love you too, David, by the way. I love you too.
XOXO.
Hey, while I'm in the spirit of plugging people, before we go to our next topic, Import Drag Solutions, David Varner, John Rogers, the whole squadron over in Ohio, they have, I don't know if you guys are into imports like I am, because I am awesome, but they have dropped their 8.8-inch solid, is that 8.8 inch, right? That's what it is? Explain the 8.8 to me, Rye. What does that mean?
8.8 inch is the size of the ring gear in a Ford rear axle.
Yeah, you're so smart, dude. I love having you. You're like my Al Borland.
It's the girth, if you will.
So they have dropped their S14. So that's a 95 to 98 240SX. They dropped their solid axle swap kit also here recently. So instead of rocking the IRS where you got to do all this BS to make it work right, you can literally just buy their kit and drop a Mustang 8.8 in the back end of your car and go. They were going consistent 1.1s in, I think, John's car this past weekend. I saw a couple of 1.9s.
It's still an IRS, so it's got to be out of a O.
No. It kills the IRS. It's a solid axle. It's sick, man. So
very nice.
They were in the 20s, and I think they went teens with IRS too, but the consistency of a solid versus IRS. And I'm sure the bar adjustments are much easier because they actually have them.
Yes.
Instead of just shock adjustments. And yes, John, we are still going to make videos. This is just a weekly thing because we're Rise lazy and I'm not. That's all I got. Okay, I'm done rambling, and this is a little unstructured, but we have the meat of the show to get to.
It's kind of what we were here for. So I thought we were live earlier, but first and foremost, well, third most, doesn't matter. Look, hey, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Just throwing it out there. Logan's not a dad, so he's going to tune out at this point in time. But seriously, happy Father's Day. I got 3 beautiful daughters, and it was absolutely amazing day for me today. So shout out to all the pops out there. Dad, you're not very tech savvy, so I doubt you'll ever see this. But if the off chance that you make it this far into a podcast, happy Father's Day to you, sir. Logan, would you like to say happy Father's Day to your dad, or you want to be the piece of shit son you've always been?
I just texted my dad just now, actually, while you were doing that. He has a Razor flip phone.
So you can even get texts.
But I did. Yes, it was a very emotional Happy Father's Day from you, and thank you for your service. Or I'm getting them confused. What am I supposed to praise you for this episode? Your service to this. I feel like it's constantly like a thanks me, I'm Rye deal.
Just thank me for existing. Okay, how's that? We'll go with that.
Yes, I want to shout Terry King Tarrant out because without his middle name is really King.
God, what a boss name, dude.
Dude, he's such
what
a
happened
boss.
to you? Your dad is so rad, and there's you.
He is. Yeah, my dad is a very rad dad. Yeah, he's a great dude. And well, you look like you just saw something, right? You good?
Huh?
I don't know. You look like... Anyway, I just wanted to shout my pops out, Terry King Tarrant. Thank you. I know he's probably not watching this right now live, but he does a ton of thrifting. The man like thrifts 365 days a year, and then he goes out. He has an eBay store where he sells all his thrift goods, and they're here. I mean, like this is a good. Oh no! My Maker's Mark and Diet Dr Pepper.
Yes.
Had a cap, didn't spill.
Oh, I heard it. Everybody heard it.
This is a Terry King Tarrant special. So he'll buy stuff like this.
If you guys can't see, you guys that are listening to this, you can't see what he's holding up. One is a fish that looks like, you know those fish you have on the wall, and you push the button and it goes, take me to the river, put me in the water.
That's
holding
what
up one
he
of those.
sent me. Anyway,
your
Happy Father's Day.
dad and my late mother would get along very well. That's not the shade.
Yeah, I know he would.
Stop that right there. But my mom was a thrifty mofo as well.
Yes. Okay, enough with the emotions.
All right. So,
Try it out, dude. Let's move on to the topic, and that is Rye. What are we talking about today?
Okay, so let's talk about the goings on. Shout out to.
Oh, wait. Did we send Josh the meeting ID?
No.
Ooh, okay, I'll text it to him. You keep talking.
Okay. So shout out to I came up with this. I wrote this joke down. The tallest man on YouTube, James Tall. Last night, yeah, I see you smiling because it's a terrible joke.
No, I'm smiling because I'm so stoked about James killing it.
So if you guys don't know who James Tall is, you may just know him as James or Dr. Spraymall. Over on Cletus's channel last night, Garrett and the boys down there in Florida put on their Burnout Kings.
Come on! The chair! Sorry.
Pay-per-view. And James absolutely crushed it and now is a 3-time reigning champ in their Burnout King series, which is basically a very informal thing. But he was rep and clapped out, and we're super stoked for him and super proud of his accomplishments. So shout out to James, man. This kid does not have to do anything for us, but he just – so here's the deal with James. Like, he doesn't have to buy stuff from us. We told him, like, hey, dude, we'll just send you stickers and shirts. James is such a boss that he, like, sneaks into the orders and puts fake names in there now to actually just buy stuff from us. I
can't wait for the 4,000 people that are going to be like, why will you send me free stuff? Thanks, Ryan, idiot. God, it's so dumb.
Talk to me when you're on a 2 million view YouTube channel. But James, the last one I think you posted was like, shh, don't tell my wife I do what I want, was the name on the order. But like literally blew the tires out of the truck in less than a minute. And I think he windowed the block. He sent it hard as anything. So if you guys watched that thing last night, dude, it was effing rad. And
I had to time my shut up for a second. Shut your mouth. I don't know how
don't talk over me. I don't listen.
I interrupted.
Don't do that. Don't freaking do that, dude.
My question to you, Rye, because I really can't remember. I don't remember how we became such good friends with James. Like, it was just a fluid relationship situation, like bromance off the bat. Like,
I think what it was is when we were at Streetcar Takeover and they grenaded the tensioner or the idler
oh, the idler
Leroy.
pulley. Yeah.
And you sent yours. Surprisingly, yours lived because you thought 7,200 RPM was the two-step.
The only time I've ever raced Garrett Mitchell, the only time I've ever said heads up with Garrett Mitchell, it was in a 4-wide race at Z-Max Dragway. No. This was round 1 of stick shift. And he blew my sphincter out of my body. Yes. Because even if I didn't launch off rev limiter, I thought I was holding my 2-step button when I was stick shift, and I was not. I was holding my line lock button, and I blew the tires off, and I'm like, stupid car won't hook. And I pull the data. I'm like, oh.
Oh, but hang on. You didn't pull the data that day. You're like,
no, I don't have weeks later.
I don't have my laptop, so whatever.
That's exactly how it sounded. I was such a bitch about it. And then that pass, I think Garrett, he destroyed his idler pulley. And then it was James and I working on the RX-7 to get the pulley off so Garrett could make the next round.
Yep.
And then I didn't forget, I knew, but I was there with BTR, and Jared Kokenauer was running stick shift class 2, and Jared's like, are you going to just give him you're just going to give him your parts so he can keep racing? I'm like, I am not helping the home team on this one at all, am I?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out, James.
And shout out IDS. He's on IDS as well.
Yeah, Import Drag Solutions, killing it. I should note too, Rye, the other thing we need to talk about, I don't mean to breeze over James, but before we get into the situation you want to talk about, we need to talk about something very, 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 very viral that had occurred yesterday. And I think you know where I'm going with this. You probably don't because you're dumb. Let's talk about the Derek Kelly roll dig race that went down yesterday. And I want to explain to everybody like what happened and what went down, because it was so disappointing, and not because of any lack of effort. I mean, everybody was trying. But what's that?
Go. Just sum it up in one.
You got me or you?
You. I mean,
okay,
me.
Good.
Me.
So
No,
Derek Kelly, Streetcar Takeover, locks in with a twin turbo H pattern Viper. Philip, I believe his name is. The deal is Derek Kelly's at a dead stop at the tree in the beams, and the Viper gets up to a 60 roll. And when the Viper gets next to Derek, they leave together. At the end of the quarter mile, whoever wins wins. And they came to final agreements at the drivers' meeting between Derek Kelly, Patrick. I think his name is Patrick. I'm probably butchering this.
Irrelevant.
Either way, Philip. No, it's Philip. Philip Michael King. Maybe his name was King too. Dope name. Anyway, Viper and Derek Kelly. The deal was that Derek would be already ready to rock. When the light goes green on the tree, the Viper leaves, and then Derek gets on his 2-step, so that by the time the Viper gets next to Derek, he wouldn't be burned down. They leave together, make a clean hit. Whoever wins, wins. Well, the Viper got held up and didn't leave on green, and for reasons I don't know. Somebody said that the track official held him up, and someone else said something. I don't care why or when or what. Either way, the Viper basically burned Derek down on purpose or not. I don't think it was on purpose. And by the time Derek was on the 2-step for like 12 seconds, he gets off the 2-step and he's like, dude, I'm roasting my trans. The Viper makes a hit. Well, the Viper lets out at like a little past half track. It gets on the brakes, gets crazy squirrely, and makes one hell of a save, crosses center in the midst of all this. And as he crosses center, that's a forfeit. The rules say you can't cross center. So on a technicality, Derek Kelly won. I know Derek Kelly did not want to win like that. Derek Kelly is one of the most grassroots racers you could ask for. He's out there to make hits. He's not out there just to take money for no reason. The dude went on a 25-mile street cruise before even letting it cool for, I think, 15 or 20 minutes and putting it in a lane with the Viper.
Yep.
But that's what all the drama started out. Everyone's getting, it's a BS win, blah, blah, blah. But both the racer, the Viper, and Derek and his Mustang were just like, no, we're all good. I think they're going to do it again at Indy. And while we're on the subject of plugs, that Mike Lau racing engine, Derek Kelly's notches, dude, I can't. I mean, I could spend the next 20 minutes jerking off Mike Lau, but I probably shouldn't. So, I mean, should I or should I not?
That's a different show.
Yeah, it is.
Clapped out late night. Put the kids to sleep and turn on the TV.
After hours.
They call him Soft Hands Clamp.
Yeah, you can't see that one on YouTube or Facebook.
Nick Doozer, Viper was going to get clapped anyways. I agree. It did not. 60 miles an hour looks like 12 from the video. It doesn't look it. I don't know. I feel like it could have been a slaughterhouse if Derek and them left together.
I really think it would have just proven a point to everybody on the planet, like roll versus dig racing. You know what I mean? Like 60 to like that 60 to 130 measurement is such a standard for so many highway. I mean, how many times has Josh thrown that stuff in our face? Look,
yeah,
through 60 to 130 times.
Which brings me to my next point, Rybert. Should we recreate this race with Josh versus you?
Ooh.
I think we should. I think Josh, I mean, even if Heath has to wheel it because he's afraid to drive. By the way, I sent him the meeting, and I don't think he's joining.
Dude, if he'll do it, I'm so down to bust his ass.
Well, that is the synopsis of drama from that whole deal. Viper lost on a technicality. They're going to rerun it. Derek Kelly's got giant balls for wanting to do that anyway. And he couldn't rerun it that night because the man had to change the gear because he was running 2 separate classes that evening as well, which I believe he took the dub in both. I could be wrong.
I know he went, to the finals or quarterfinals in Street Racer, but he went definitely rounds. In the street racer category, which street racer is basically the quarter mile cream of the crop at street car takeover. That's the fastest class that you can go to.
Dude's wild. So that is all for current events and drama and product of the week. Now we can get to Rye's subject matter, which he's worked so heavily on. Take it away, Robert.
Welcome back to Rye in the studio. Thanks, Tom. So
such a nerd, dude.
Super corny, right? I know. Everybody's cringing now. So, have you paid any attention to this? I know we talked about it. The B is for Build guy. His name is Chris Steinbacher. I'm probably butchering that. So, B is for Build is a YouTube channel.
Steinbacher.
The premise of his whole channel is basically like they buy wrecked cars, mostly from Copart auctions, and then bring them back to life. And he's done recently some somewhat rad cars, a couple Lamborghinis, Nissan GTRs, stuff like that. So the most recent build that he was working on was basically taking a 67 Mustang body and transplanting it onto a later model Coyote car, like 2011, 2012, something like that. That got wrecked. And he was going to convert it into a GT500 style.
Do not say the name.
We can talk about it because we're media, right?
I don't know, man. I don't want them to come repossess my webcam and my mic.
Again, Gone in 61 Seconds, like a movie that's less than that.
Okay.
The
Bellinor
Mustang. So he got in a bunch of hot water with this whole deal. And I didn't know this, and I had to go back and do some research. Basically, he had 14 videos on YouTube. All of a sudden, boom, they were gone. And it was kind of like a mystery why all of a sudden all the videos about this Mustang build were gone. But essentially, so the dude that originally made the Gone in 60 Seconds movie, the original one like from the 70s, died in 89 shortly after he married his wife, who's a real see you next Tuesday.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, our attorneys will have a great time with this libel and BS you're throwing out, you moron.
So she won the estate, right, for the rights to the Bellinor Mustang. And she literally beat out. So this dude had 11 siblings. Like, his mother was never mind. So beat out his 11 siblings for the rights to Bellinor. And
I can't do it. The Eleanor. Let's just be. I don't care. We're gonna get sued anyway.
I know. I'm just stumbling. Okay, so Eleanor Mustang. Basically, this dude, he was trying to build like his dream car, the Gone in 60 Seconds Eleanor Mustang, and because he called it an Eleanor on YouTube, and he makes money off of YouTube, he basically got sued for copyright infringement, and they took the car. Like, and they waited until he was done with the car and it was running and driving, and seized it.
Smooth, level 5,000.
Let him finish it's like the lawyers all got together and they're like, all right, here's what we're going to do. Everybody, shut up, Carl. Shut up.
But what if we...
Carl, shut up, Carl. Here's what we're going to... Carl, I swear to God, get out of the room.
But if he keeps making more videos, he's going to make more money.
Yes, that's fine, Carl, but here's the plan.
You're not hearing what I'm saying.
Finish the series. Finish the car. When the last coat of clear is sprayed on that MFer, that's when we take it. We just go and get it.
That's when we pounce?
That's what he did.
That's when we pounce?
I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that
I totally get it. All right. So, yeah, the automotive equivalent to Carol frickin' Baskins basically took this dude's car, who's, he's a hardworking dude trying to make some money off of YouTube, but, man, I feel for him.
I'm going to leave it to the comments on that. How do you all feel about, okay, let's just take it from a different standpoint, okay? You spend let's call it a year of your life, 2 years of your life building your car, and you're making money on it on YouTube, which, by the way, Clapped Out makes so much money on YouTube. I think, what did we clear last year? Like $1,200 for the year between 3 people. So we're rich.
Tens of dollars.
Tens of dollars. But you're making money. I'm sorry. You're building this car as a number one. Number two, you're making a small amount of money on YouTube. I'm sure B is for Build makes a good amount of money doing it, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The point is, when you're finally done, you turn the key. Rye, what are you doing when they come to seize it?
I'm putting it in the wall as hard as I can.
As hard as you can.
Immediately. Like, this whole thing? Limiter, wall, scent, like...
Hey, how is that concrete? Is that kind of footer anywhere below the soil level, or is that just above ground? Above ground?
And for my next video, you guys see, I'll take it on the other 14th videos, but I was just about to film the 15th where we test the crash test rating of this fucking thing.
I would be furious, and he's got some pretty good quotes out there. He got interviewed. Oh, man, where's this thing at? I do know that so he didn't want to give his opinion on the whole situation, but he goes, I do know that I can give my opinion on the team at gonein60seconds.com, and I can tell you they are terrible people parading around as car people with a history of being lawsuit-happy dickheads.
Time out, Rye. Can you think of anyone else that may be like that we shouldn't say out loud? I can. Continue. Let's continue. I'm sorry. I like to throw random, what are they talking about in there?
I feel like there's a group of people. What's another name for a group of people?
Anyway, keep going.
That's right. It's a society. Just the most unpleasant, terrible people I've ever had the misfortune to deal with.
Anyway, next topic. Shut up.
We can edit this after the fact. Don't yell on the microphone. Don't talk over me. Okay? Don't do that. That's unprofessional. You're better than that.
This is great. I love this. Is a great episode.
Jesus. So... B is for Build got taken to the damn cleaners, and sucks for him.
I don't know how I'd react to that, man. I really don't. I don't know how I would react. Like, if someone came to get the FD, I'd probably let him have it. Honestly, I'm sick of that car. It's like, oh man, no, but for real, I would love the public's opinion on this. Okay. So if you guys are watching, we got 40, 50 people tuned in right now, which is actually above average for us. If this is your car, what are you doing when they come to repossess it after everything you've done?
Yeah, you basically poured your heart and soul into this thing, and now somebody's like, nah, that's mine because you named it. You put a name on it. Like, this dude, this Carol Baskin sued Carol Shelby. And I've heard Carol Shelby's not the nicest guy in the history of car people, but even Carol Shelby lost the rights to this car. Like, he invented the GT500. It makes 0 sense in my book. 0 cents how you have the rights to it.
I will say real quick, while we're on the subject of Carol Shelby and Father's Day, Carol Shelby, back in the day, Carol Shelby had his own chili. And I
remember this.
My father, Terry Tarrant, actually worked with Carol Shelby on his chili stuff. I don't know. My dad's an art director, so he does advertising and stuff, and that's what he did professionally for a very, very long time. And he worked with Carol Shelby directly and had nothing but nice things to say about him because he never met him. He only worked with like his extended team that he sent in. I don't know. I have no idea, but Never had anything bad to say about him or his chili. So the man's got great chili.
I can't wait to meet your dad and question him on all the accolades that you have lied about over the years.
So many. There's so many. I lie all the time. It's like my day to day. Vinny Barker says he would shit on the hood and set it on fire.
Wait, no, don't change the subject. So your dad's an art director.
Yes.
A thrifter.
Yes.
A bus driver.
Uh-huh.
Worked with Carol Shelby.
Vietnam War veteran.
Yep. And a chili connoisseur.
He also worked with Ray Kroc of McDonald's. So there's that. Oh, and did some of the original design work for the McDonald's crew. So the Ronald and the Grimace and the Hamburglar and all of that. We used to have like the original sculptures from those guys. And then he was like, yeah, I don't need them. And he sold them on. True story.
So your dad is the reason I was crawling around in the head of a Hamburglar when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. He also worked on the Be Like Mike campaign for Gatorade for a while, which was dope. But here's the thing that sucked about that. So Papa Tarrant, he'd get on the Metro in the morning, go to Chicago to work for like Leo Burnett, Foot Cone Belding, these advertising companies downtown. And it was the Be Like Mike spots they were shooting at that time. They'd go to the place where they make commercials, the set. I don't know what the hell you call that. And it was while Jordan was playing baseball. So
I remember that when he was at White Sox.
Yeah, he'd come home with Jordan baseball cards, and I'm like, cool. I needed more toilet paper, Pops. Appreciate it. Don't care about that. Give me a rookie basketball card, bro.
A wipe with Mike's face.
Yeah, dude. And be sure to hide a mold of my man junk somewhere. Vinny Freda on the Eleanor. They get into their shop. It's just a bunch of sculpture dicks.
I would draw dicks all over that car.
Yeah.
So, speaking of tall dad tales, I used to tell people that, you know the song Owner of a Lonely Heart? And then there's like the synthesizer, I used to tell people that my dad wasn't in the band, but he was just like hanging out with them in the studio. And he just like smashed the synthesizer and did the little thing.
That's amazing.
And they'd be like, oh my God, it's got to be in the video or in the music. So I'd be like, my dad wrote this part. And
how do you refute that?
Yeah, exactly. So I tell people that all the time. I even tricked my own wife into believing that for me.
Oh, dude, did you just blow your spot up?
No, I told her, I was like, hey, I was just kidding. But I wish I would have let it ride until she met my dad.
She actually just chimed in that you told her that story on one of your first dates.
Yep, definitely did.
Hook, line, and sinker. That's what got her right there.
It came on the radio. I'm like, hey, my dad wrote this part.
God, we were just lying our way to the top.
Owner of a Lonely Heart. My dad was
all right.
In the credits.
I'll story top you right now. You want a story top? I'll story top.
No, you are a one-upper all the time.
Every day. I don't hide the fact, though. I don't hide it. I just am. Terry Tarrant in the 70s lived in the Hollywood Hills. This is no joke. He was working for a company that refinished. This is a two-parter. He refinished the interiors and they designed. Back in the day, McDonald's had theme restaurants. Do you remember this, Rye? Like it was train sets and like dinosaur themes and like you could go and they'd have a caboose you could sit in, like a train. Like you don't remember this?
I just remember being hot and sticky.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is literally the title of your sex tape. So they had, they had these theme restaurants for McDonald's, and my dad worked with this dude, and they would do the interiors of these McDonald's and other fast food chains for Ray Kroc and all these guys. Anyway, they're at a site and they're working on this interior, and one of the guys that's working on the interior with my dad is like, "Hey man, this stuff that." I guess when they would glue the leather to the backs of the seats or whatever, it would produce this film that they'd have to scrape off. And the guy would scrape this film off these seats and put them in a bucket and keep the stuff. And then he would use that stuff to freshen up the leather. Like it would shine the leather up. So he goes to my dad and he's like, this is car related, by the way. He goes to my dad and he's like, Terry, $1,000. I'll let you buy in on this stuff and we can sell it to the masses. And my dad was like, nah, I'm all good. So Google the original Armor All logo right now.
I knew it.
If you Google the original Armor All logo, that is a Terry Tarrant design, swear to God. This man could have owned half Armor All. Dude, what an idiot. Swear to God.
Your dad is Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Your dad is Forrest Gump.
So
He's everywhere.
fast forward, he's
Not
still
at the same time.
he's still in the west. He's still on the West Coast. He's living in Laurel Canyon in California. He's playing in a band called L.A. Clown. They pitch a song called Terry's Disease, and I'll sing it for you. Well, it started with a little kiss, grew into a case of chapped lips, but the sores never went away. They just grew and grew each day. You got Terry's Disease. I swear to God, this song is called Terry's Disease. And I'm listening to this song from a studio recording, and I hear this dude in the background. He's just like, man, that's a great song. Very, like, a really iconic voice in the background talking to the guys in the band. And I'm like, Pops, who the hell is that guy talking? He goes, oh, that's Cassius Clay. Yeah, he trained up the road from us, and he'd come into the studio, and he'd hang out, and we'd just shoot the shit and kick it and have a couple beers. And, well, he wouldn't, but we would. And just, like, hang out with Muhammad Ali and sing songs.
What
Yeah.
Dude.
Hopefully it's all lies. And when we both die and we're in heaven, and I could just yell at him for being like,
I really hope there's an afterlife so we can expose the truth on everything. Dude, how come we don't have your dad singing all the clapped out intros?
how come we don't have Terry on the live feed right now?
We won't get sued anymore or copyright infringements ever again.
Yeah, because it's all, well, that was us in the beginning.
Yeah. Are you trying to get your dad on here right now?
Yeah, I'm just going to call him. It's no big deal. See if he answers. He probably won't. He has no idea what a live feed is, so he's going to watch this later and be like, what the hell?
What the hell is going on here? Please answer.
I'm just going to yell at him about not signing half of his life away for Armor All.
Yeah, and how you missed out on the estate.
And why did you have me as a child? I'm a failure, you know? All right, he's probably sleeping. He was thrifting all day.
Spulius Caesar says your dad needs his own documentary. Yeah, it's called Forrest Gump. Go watch it.
It actually is pretty. It's pretty Forrest Gumpy, but so we went so off the rails here.
Minus the. Never mind.
Yes. Please. Finish.
I think I ruined your roommate's blanket, Jenny.
I'm sorry about your blanket, Jenny. Oh my God. Happy Father's Day. It's a father-centric theme. So, how about the time? What did your dad buy? You bought you a car and you sold it behind his back.
I did. So my dad bought me let me borrow a 1989 Ford Bronco 2.
What did you do with that Bronco 2, Rye?
So I drove by a Ford dealership, or it was a Dodge dealership actually, and there was a 2002 F-150 Lightning. I know how much you love it when I say F-150 Lightning. Sitting in the parking lot, I rolled in there and I was like, I like this truck, and I traded it in, and I got $1,200 for an '88 Ford Bronco 2.
So you just traded a car in that your dad gave you without his permission?
Yeah, and my dad was super pissed.
Yes. Don't blame him.
Yeah, but
I would be salty. Rye, can't wait to see the drag race with you at the War Run in November. I am going to bring this up because I am betting on the other team because I don't think you're going to be able to do a damn thing at this race, Rye.
Go ahead and bet on the other team. I got some plans.
Okay. Rye went on a podcast. He cheated on our podcast. And he went on another podcast. Tell us about this, Rye. I want to hear about this again.
So my buddy Scott has a podcast called Big Scott's Shop Talk. A lot of chopper culture. He's big into vanning, and he puts on an event called the War Run. And at the War Run,
Stop touching your microphone or whatever you're playing with.
Stop talking over me. Are you done? I'm so tired of it. I'm over it. I'll wait. Are you done? So he's got an event called the War Run, and it's a chopper show. And they do mini bike races. And one of the guys that won the mini bike race is named David Kilkenny. I went on Scott's podcast and I talked a bunch of crap, said I was the fastest person that's ever been on their podcast because you know what? I am. And you know, I don't do this when you're talking.
Do what?
I don't sit here and like, I don't know, make fun of your dad, like, write a novel.
Nobody can see me on the podcast, dude. This is just for you and me.
Yeah, well, it's the live feed, dude, so chill the F out.
All right, I'm chill. Sorry.
Yes. So I got called out basically because I talked a bunch of crap, and they wanted me to race him on mini bikes around a road course. I said, you know what? I don't do turns, and I'm not a motorcycle racer. So meet me halfway. We'll do a drag race. So basically, I have to build a mini bike. And on November, I believe it's 7th in Wilmington, North Carolina, I will be doing a best 2 out of 3 drag race, 330 feet, for the gentleman by the name of David Kilkenny. And it's a heads-up shootout, and we'll see. Establish dominance. I'm going to go to their world. I'm going to wreck it.
So you've never raced a mini bike ever?
I mean, I can ride. I have a Honda 50 sitting over there, and I can ride that thing on the back tire all day long.
Which I've witnessed your mini bike skills, and I will say you have them. I'm not trying to slight you. Yeah. I am simply adding to the pot here that we have. Clapped Out has a guy that doesn't live in this world, and I was kidding earlier. Rye is going to wreck. What's the guy's name? I can't even remember him. What's his name?
It doesn't matter. David Kilkenny. Dead Man Dave.
Yeah, Dead Man Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Dead Man Dave is going to get straight wrecked. And wait, so jockey weight, you told me we're lead vest in this guy. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so he weighs my call out is like, look, man, we're meeting halfway. I'm coming to your world. You come into my world. So fair is fair. We have to maintain the same weight. I walk around 245 pounds. So the riders need to be 245. He walks around like 150 pounds soaking wet. So he'll probably have heat stroke from wearing lead vest or whatever the hell it is he's putting on himself to get up to weight. So wheelbase is the same. No bitch bars, no wheelie bars, no power adders. The motor has to be a 6.5 horsepower Predator-based motor, so Harbor Freight Predator motor. Outside of that, anything goes, and that's it. So
they have the opportunity. So you guys obviously are both building this off the same engine.
Yes.
Do they already have theirs built and ready, and you got to come up with your own?
He has a mini bike, but they do a little like road course mini bike deal. So but the pictures that I've seen for like their little circuit course that they run, it's dirt and asphalt, is they're putting these mini bike motors into like Honda CRF frames. So they have suspension and stuff like that. Even though it's a mini bike, it has to be pull start. That's the other one too. So the term mini bike is used very, very loosely.
It's just a motor with 2 wheels.
Yeah, basically. That's
oh my god.
So the rules are wheelbase has to be the same, and we both have to weigh the same. No wheelie bars, no power adders, and outside of that, that's it.
We should probably go live for this race.
Absolutely.
Okay, Wilmington in November. Air is going to be no power adders, but both. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of mix them ups on both sides because they already think they're the baddest that's ever been with these.
Yes. So when I got off the podcast, I went back and listened to it later, and they were in there like taking some jabs, like, "Oh, I don't know if he knows how to build a mini bike." Like, come on, dude, are you serious?
God. Yeah.
I can make 8 cylinders haul ass. You think making 1 and 1 gear haul ass is hard? Get the fuck out of here.
This is going to be very exciting for everybody, I think.
I'm not going to say it's going to be a cakewalk. That's not what I'm going to say.
I'm going to say it. I think it's going to be easy as hell. I think you don't let me down. I think you're going to go out there, you're going to spank him, give him some baby powder at the finish line, tell him dry up, we'll do it again.
I got some plans that basically this motor is going to be tuned to the point where it'll kick the rod out of the cylinder by the time we're done with it, and I don't give a shit.
God, so wait, let me ask this on a technicality. If the first race you window your block, will you A, forfeit the race, B, have a spare block sitting to swap in, or C, I don't know what C is, but what's the deal? If one of you guys blows the engine up first pass, what's the deal there?
I'm going with C, which is probably where I pick the bike up and wear it on my back like a backpack, and I run to the finish line and I kick him off of his bike.
I feel like this would be the best possible scenario.
Yeah. He's 150 pounds, and he's going to put a 100-pound weight on him. Like, he's going to be like a turtle on his back if I push him over.
I think I'm excited as hell for this.
Yeah, see, Terry Baker. Dave is an AMA licensed racer. Last year was totally nuts. Yes, Dave is. I'm not going to take anything away from Dave's skill set. He is an AMA, American Motorcycle Association licensed racer for flat track racing.
The
dude's a beast. He can ride a bike. I totally give him that on 2 wheels, but
this is the equalizer is straight line, power to weight. You come into my world, I'm coming to your world. So heads up, and we'll see how it turns out. But I got some confidence. I think he's confident because he's been like on mini bikes. He's like, oh, they haul ass. Yeah, they haul ass when you only weigh 150 pounds. Strap on 100 pounds of weight, and then let's see how much ass they actually haul.
I have a buddy that I grew up with, or didn't grow up with, but we met later in life, and he races. I guess you'd call it flat track. It's the Harleys that go in circles, right? Like you just wing it. His name's Brandon Gonzalez, and Brandon moved out to California. Like was just like, yeah, I want to do it. And he just got in he had a Scion FRS or a BRZ at the time, and he just got in his BRZ and drove all the way to Cali. And he has been killing it. He got a job out there. That's why he left originally. And he just started killing it out there, and he races these. And I'll see some of the still shots of that flat track stuff, and dude, no way. You got to have brass balls to do that stuff. That's insane to me. So other than us destroying you in a straight line, Dave, mad props for getting on a bike and doing that, because I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it should be fun. And I'm looking forward to mixing up with these guys. It's a different change of pace from, what we do usually. So, and I like the idea of being able to go out there and get a little bit creative with a different type of build.
I would, yeah, I don't know. I guess so. With no power adders, there's really limited options. I mean, obviously, there's probably going to be some fun on both sides of this. I'm sure they're going to go back to the drawing board and do everything they can to try to edge you out.
When you look up like the amount of stuff, because those Predator motors are used in mini bikes and in go-kart racing, like sky is the limit with these things. Like there's guys making billet cranks and rods for what is essentially $150 motor.
That's Caleb, the kid that jumped in earlier with the AR5 conversation. Yeah. He got crazy with those engines too, I think. I'm not sure if it's the same one, but yeah, he had little billet rod, billet crank, and I always thought it was crazy. It was insane to me, but I guess there's a huge market for it.
Hell yeah. I'm trying to just keep talking.
So when I was 8 years old, I was second grade before we moved from Wayne, Illinois. And I always had only buttons on my jeans. I didn't have zippers. And I was taking a PP in my classroom. And I'm going to just keep going until you figure out what you're figuring out. I was taking a PP in my classroom, and I went to Wayne Elementary School.
Okay, why were you peeing in the classroom?
Well, I was getting to that point. I was going to get there. And
there you go. There's the War Run right there. War Run 5. $10 to enter the mini bike race.
Is that the mini bike right there?
That's one of them. So these guys shred. That's why I'm like, I'm not doing what you guys do.
If you put a sepia filter on that picture, I would think it's from 1968.
I know. The PBR shirt, the whole nine.
The helmet's sick.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure out what to do for a wager. And they were like, oh, you want to race for pinks? I was like, well, I don't think this mini bike is going to actually be my mini bike or stay my mini bike. So, nah. But what I think we may end up trying to do, or what I'm going to try and talk him into, is maybe like we each do a custom helmet and we race for the rights to the helmet or something like that.
Yeah, and then next year try to reclaim it or something.
Yep.
That'd be sick.
Make a bullshit trophy. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I wouldn't get on that mini bike if you built it. It'd be terrifying.
I wouldn't get in anything I built. You've seen the quality and caliber of cars that I do.
I think both of us are a little imbalanced to get in anything we turn wrenches on and go as fast as we go.
This is true.
Hold on. This is going to be, I think, a good closing topic for today because we're running out of time.
Yep.
This is something I want to talk about, and it's something that I think is insanely impressive and unfortunately involves a guy named Michael Kurt Bunton. I'm going to pause for the laughter. So everybody, just get it out of your systems. So Bunton hits me out this weekend, actually earlier today, and he's like, "Are you going to talk about Ziff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I'll talk. I don't know what I'm to talk about." And then I go to Ziff. If you guys know Ziff Hudson, he has a very, 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 very fast notchback.
It's probably one of the sexiest notchbacks on the planet.
Oh my God, it looks so damn good, dude.
It's a fucking show car.
Here's the deal with Ziff. Ziff's got a small block. He runs Pro 275, which I look up the stips on that class. I don't know what it is, the weight and what he has to run, but if you look it up, it's a fairly even keel class from everything I can gather. And Ziff's combination is fuel tech powered, Bunton wired. So I don't give him much credit there because Bunton's a moron. I hate him. But Ziff goes 380 in a small block setup and goes like five. I think it was 4 or 5 rounds. I can't remember. Was it 4 rounds or 5 rounds before finals? And every pass was like a low 380s pass, like it was a bracket car. And it's absolutely insane. Yeah. Is this it right here? Yeah. Scroll down, twins. Dieter's Custom Finishing, I think, did all the polishing on his engine bay. TKM, machine work and engine build in there. And Bunton wired it up. Yeah, let's get out of that ad. And Bunton wired it up, and the car is straight up disgusting. This car is a 380s bracket car. Now, I'm going to flash back to like 2007, 2008. I grew up in the Chicago burbs, and there was a racer in the burbs known as Boost 12. His name's Joey Raviola. And Joey made a comment to me about 10 years ago. I'll never forget it. King of the Street was coming up, and Joey tells me, if you're not going 5-0 to the 8th, then just don't bother showing up. And in my head, I'm like, damn, that's flying. And that was flying 10 years ago. If you're going 5-0, you were really doing something 10 years ago for small block stuff, you know. And in the class, in the circles we ran in, 5-0 to the 8th was a very, very solid setup. And now these cars are going in the 3s like butter. Like a 380 pass back to back to back is insane to me. I don't understand the amount of work and engineering and information and everything that has to go into that, and R&D. It's insane, dude.
Oh, I'm going to hold my breath and wait for everybody to tell us 8th mile racing is lame.
Yeah, put someone in a car that goes 200 miles an hour in an 8th mile, and if you don't have shit in your pants by the time you pull that chute, I'll personally, I don't know, think of something awkward that I have to do for them. Like
how you call yourself.
Dude, I don't like. It was always gonna go straight sexual, and I just didn't want to go there because then it would just be all bad. But an 80s pass, I can't imagine. I mean, what's the fastest mile an hour you gone to the 8th, Rye?
8th mile, 132, roughly.
So, when 140, whatever in the RX-7. So let's just call it even 130s, 140s. And when you click high gear, even when you click high gear at that, it's like, damn, this is gonna be so scary.
Yeah, you're pooping your pants. It's not a big deal when the car gets a little bit squirrely in first gear, maybe second gear, you're going about 60, 70 miles an hour. It'll make you pucker a little bit. But when the car starts to step out at 3-digit speeds, it's nuts. And I cannot fathom, like, you're committed. I mean, I won't say it's crazy because, like, I want to say, like, oh, you're just along for the ride at that point. But that makes it sound like what this dude just did is easy and he's just letting go of a button. Like, no, you're driving that thing, but there's a lot of fate involved in this, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But if you can't appreciate 0 to 200 plus miles an hour in 3.8 seconds, even though it's not a whole 1320, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about in car world.
Old boy took the Pro 275 win, 380 at 199 miles an hour. It is absolutely berserk to me that he was able to do it. This was at the Carolina Dragway, the Carolina Radial Tire Championship Summer Series or Summer Shootout. The small block nitrous class was there. Small block boosted class was there. Pro 275, $7,500 to the winner, 16 car minimum. So 16 car minimum. He went round after round after round. Never ever had anything that wasn't just bottom line an impressive pass, and set the record for that class at a 380 at 199 miles an hour. So, Ziff, I've never talked to you personally. I talked to Bunton, who always literally is on your jock, so that's how I know of you. and shout out to Bunton on wiring. Bunton gets so many people talk so much crap about the fact that he uses terminal strips, which is so funny to me. And Bunton posted up a picture spelling Ziff number 1, and he spelled it out of terminal strips, which I thought was awesome. So shouts out to those guys. That is incredible. I mean, that's insane. I'll do a winner of the week. James Tall's our winner of the week. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ziff's number 2.
Yep.
But you guys killed it.
I pulled up an old Yellow Bullet post here. Ziff Hudson 447 and 170 record single turbo 275 radial pass. Like let me see how long ago this is. That was in 2014. So in 6 years.
It's a second faster. No, not really, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Almost.
Ugh, dude, I can't fathom letting go of the brake, and then just knowing in 3.8 seconds I get to pull the chute. Well,
where does it stop? Like where, you know what I mean? Where does it stop?
That's a great question. I have no clue where these tiny tires are going to stop, because it's right now what they're doing right now, and the how far engine management's come and how far chassis prep and setup has come. It's insane.
And then people are like, what if I put this on a 14-inch wide tire, like, or wheel? You know what I mean? Have you seen what a 275 looks like on a 14-inch wide wheel?
Yeah, it's like stance for drag racers.
You can see the whole beadlock ring from the rear of the car. Like, you can see the bolts and the whole damn ring. It's nuts. The progression, I'm excited to see where it goes. Small tire racing to the front all day.
Again, I don't have the balls for it, but I hats off to the people that do, because there's no way in hell. I mean, I say that, but I mean, I can't imagine. Shout out to that, because that's crazy to me.
Shout out to Ziff Hudson. Shout out to James. Shout out to all the dads out there. And we appreciate everybody tuning in. I think this is the perfect time to wrap this up. We've been on this for an hour, and I'm going to go in and spend the rest of my evening with my fan family.
Hey, Rye, before we leave, I just want to apologize for my demeanor on the live feed today. I know you're getting kind of frustrated, and I love you a lot, brother. So I promise next week I won't be such a dickhead, okay?
Okay, go play with your cats.
I love you. Say it back.